Yes, it's almost Valentine's Day, and we really want to hear from all you lonely hearts out there who might be listening to the radio right now. Turned out our politicians are also just soft, sensitive souls who want to be loved. By you, that is, even if they have little love for each other.
OK, Victoria, we've got Eric from Brentwood and Ongar.
Hi, Eric, what would you like to say?
Oh, hello, Victoria. Yes, it's Uncle Eric here. I've run into a spot of bother this week. You know, I've ended up offending just about everybody. I mean, sometimes I just feel a bit misunderstood. You know what I mean? I'm just a bluff old Yorkshireman who wants to be loved.
This week, Downing Street stand-in emergency floods minister Eric Pickles caused a few waves himself when he hit out at the Environment Agency for their failure to dredge and then had to backpedal the very next day.
We perhaps relied too much on the Environment Agency's advice. I think we recognise now that we should have done, we should have dredged.
It is entirely wrong for the Honourable Lady to suggest for one moment that I have issued even the slightest criticism of the marvellous workforce of the Environment Agency.
And that really broke the heart of Chris from Islington.
I've been inundated with messages of support from our staff up and down the country who've said thank you for standing up for us, because that's what a chairman has to do.
Now, many Conservative MPs might even agree with the bluff Mr Pickles. One allegedly said about Lord Smith,
Hi, Victoria. I'd like to stick his head down the loo and flush.
but the blame game did not go down well with many of my listeners, some of whom were flood victims. They thought the politicians should be getting together and doing something to help them, listening to them, instead of blaming each other. Mind you, they probably didn't think so many politicians would end up on their doorstep. Our next caller tonight is Dave from Chipping Norton. And Dave, I gather that you have commitment issues.
Yes, today, Victoria, I'm so committed. I am 100% committed. I am so committed. It's so, totally not true. Money is no object. I will do whatever it takes.
Nigel from Wythenshawe. You're live on the air.
Hello, Victoria. I just get the feeling that I'm looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah, that's what the polls are saying as well, Nige.
Oh, well, never mind. It's pretty grim. I'm off down the pub.
Next, let's talk to Boris in London. Hi, Boris.
Yes, hello. This is a message for my bronzed Bolshevik nemesis from Woodford Green, Bob. Bob, I'm sorry I called you a swaggering, fat-necked oaf. Thank you for calling off the strike. Will you be my Valentine?
The floods haven't just been a human disaster, but a financial one. It could cost insurers up to £1 billion. And we all know who'll end up paying for that. Could it have an effect on the growing economy? Well, it's too early to say, obviously, but don't splash out on that wallet-busting Valentine's Day treat just yet. The Bank of England's governor, Mark Carney, says we're not out of the woods, and he'll have to change the bank's policy again before he'll consider putting up interest rates.
We've taken stock. We move into a phase where we're still looking to maintain the momentum in the recovery, but where we have to make more nuanced judgment.
Ed's in North London. Ed, you're on the radio.
I'm also in a car, on a date, with Ed Balls in the back. It's not good enough, and that's why I say Britain can do better dates than this. I want to go home.
Charles is in Highgrove. Charles, you're on the radio.
Yes, hello. It's very terribly kind of you to put me on. I've been touring the studios very much this week. I'm really feeling the love, and I'm sorry not to have seen you there, actually. I brought you a nice little Valentine box of my posh biscuits. Yes.
Hi, Alex from Edinburgh. I know you've got something to say about this.
Yes, hello, Victoria. I've been listening. I think you're doing a smashing job. After nearly 300 years, I want to end my relationship, but my partner's being unreasonable. She says if I leave her, she'll take me to the cleaners.
Today's Treasury review on whether an independent Scotland and the UK could share the pound said that a currency union could work, but that both countries would have to agree to subsidise each other's taxpayers, agree to underwrite each other's banks, and agree on spending. A bit like now, really. And it's brought together the most unlikely romantic partners.
I could not, as Chancellor, recommend that we could share the pound with an independent Scotland.
Scotland cannot keep the pound and the Bank of England if it chooses independence.
It is clear to me that a currency union wouldn't work for Scotland if it was independent. It wouldn't work for the rest of the UK.
All three main Westminster parties have told Scotland that if they vote for independence, they'll lose the pound. Alex, he's still there in Edinburgh.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our currency.
We're in a campaign. It's in the interests of George Osborne, Ed Balls, Danny Alexander to talk up what they describe as the uncertainty.
Still, who'd have thought George Osborne, Ed Balls, Danny Alexander all sharing a Valentine's Day? Perhaps love really is in the air at Westminster after all. We've got time for one more caller tonight, and it's Michael from somewhere in Spain. Hola, Michael.
I've been very much enjoying the programme tonight, and as you'll see when we cut to the studio, my blouse is particularly fantastic tonight, and my point therefore is, Victoria, will you be my Valentine?
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. I've already got a date tonight.